They say silence is louder than shouting, and that's exactly how I left. No yelling, no begging, no second chances, just quiet. When I found out about my wife's affair, something inside me broke. Not dramatically, not like in the movies, but in a cold, still way that felt final. The kind of pain that doesn't scream. It just ends you from the inside out. It happened a year ago. I came home early from work. A normal Tuesday. Nothing special. The lights were dim. The house was too quiet. Then I saw her phone on the counter, screen lit up with a message preview that read, "Can't wait to see you again." My stomach sank, but my hand stayed steady as I unlocked the phone. There it was. Message after message. Photos. Hotel receipts. Words I never thought she'd say to anyone but me. I didn't confront her right away. I waited. I sat in the living room for hours just staring at the wedding photo on the wall. Her smile in that picture had been real once. Mine too. But now it looked like a lie frozen in time. When she finally came home, humming like everything was fine, I didn't say a word. I handed her phone to her, unlocked, and said quietly, "You left it on the counter." She looked at the screen, and I watched the color drain from her face. She tried to speak, but I stopped her. "You don't need to explain." I already read enough. She started crying, babbling something about feeling neglected, how we'd grown distant, how she didn't mean for it to happen. I just nodded. "I'm not angry," I said, and I wasn't. I was done. I just don't want to be in something that doesn't mean anything anymore. I packed that night, just a few things, clothes, a laptop, my sketchbook. When she realized I wasn't bluffing, her panic set in. "Please don't do this." "We can fix it." I remember the sound of her voice trembling, the way her hands shook as she tried to grab mine. I pulled away gently. "You broke something that doesn't glue back together," I told her. Then I left. No yelling, no goodbye. That's how it ended. I moved across town, started over. The first few months were hard, lonely, quiet, but strangely peaceful. I learned to cook for one, to sleep in the middle of the bed again. I focused on work, picked up my old hobby of woodworking, and spent weekends helping my brother rebuild his porch. Slowly, life found rhythm again. A year passed. I hadn't heard from her, not once, until that night. It was late, close to midnight, when I heard the knock. Soft at first, then faster. I hesitated before opening the door, and there she was, my ex-wife. Her hair was messy, makeup smeared, eyes red and swollen. She looked like a ghost of the woman I once loved. "Can I come in?" she asked, her voice small, almost childlike. I stepped aside silently. She walked in clutching a crumpled tissue, shaking like she'd run through the rain, even though the night was clear. "I didn't know where else to go," she said. I didn't answer right away. I just leaned against the counter, watching her pace the room that used to be ours. She looked around at the space, noticing the new furniture, the framed photos of hiking trips and quiet sunsets I'd taken alone. "It's different," she whispered. "Yeah," I said. "So am I." She let out a breath that sounded more like a sob. I made the worst mistake of my life. I didn't rush to comfort her. I just stood there, letting her words hang in the air. "You don't have to say that to make me feel better," I said. "I'm not," she replied quickly, shaking her head. She paused, tears spilling again. "He left. Months ago. Said I was too emotional, too much drama. And I kept thinking, maybe this was karma. Maybe I deserved it." She looked up at me, eyes desperate. "But I miss you." "I miss us," I swallowed hard. There was a time when those words would have broken me, but now, they just echoed. "You miss the version of me that let you get away with things," I said quietly. She flinched. "That's not fair." "No," I said. "It's honest." For a long moment, neither of us spoke. The clock ticked in the background. She wiped her tears and whispered, "I thought you'd hate me." "I did," I admitted. "For a while. But hate fades. You stop replaying what happened and you just learn to live without needing the apology that never came." She walked closer, voice trembling. "Do you ever think about us?" "Sometimes," I said, "but not in the way you think. I think about how much it hurt to lose you, and how I never want to feel that small again." Her lip quivered, and she reached out as if to touch me, but stopped halfway. "I don't expect you to take me back. I just needed to say I'm sorry. I ruined something good." I nodded slowly. "You did." She broke then, crying harder, her body shaking with it. And for the first time in a long time, I felt something. Not anger, not love, but closure. The kind that comes when you finally see the person who broke you, not as a monster, but as human. Flawed. Lost. After a while, she calmed down. I handed her a glass of water, and she took it, avoiding my eyes. "You look happy," she said softly. "I am," I replied. "Not because I stopped loving you, but because I learned to love me again." That silence returned, heavy, real. But this time, it wasn't painful. It was peace. When she finally stood to leave, she looked back from the doorway. "You really moved on, didn't you?" "Yeah," I said. "And I hope one day you do too." She nodded, eyes glossy, and whispered, "You were the only one who ever made me feel safe." And then she was gone. I stood there for a long while, staring at the empty doorway, listening to the sound of her car fading into the night. Then I closed the door quietly, just like the way I left her a year ago. No drama, no anger, just quiet. Because some endings don't need noise to be powerful. They just need you to finally choose yourself.